Here we go. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Eagle Reality Career Talk podcast. Chris Ward, broker in charge of Eagle Realty here in North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So we do this podcast every Thursday, try to do a weekly show here. And it's really meant to be tactical and kind of sometimes macro. Sometimes we're kind of like in the heady, theoretical area and talking about, maybe your psychology of your career in real estate and for realtors and kind of macro issues, big goals and that kind of thing, where you want your career to go, how you want it to go, how do you define success, things like that. And then sometimes we're very tactical and very, sales oriented as far as what you should be doing on a day-to-day basis, what your logistical day look like, what your content schedule look like, what kind of dollar revenue producing activities are you doing on the daily, how you should be interacting with your sphere, your geofarm, and that kind of thing. So I want to thank you guys for listening, whether you're listening on Google, iTunes, Alexa, no matter where you're at. I just thank you for listening and subscribing. And you can check it out. We do a YouTube live stream. So this is a streaming live video on YouTube. And of course, the audio you can find about everywhere because that's how we like to do it. So Thursdays we do a podcast, and if you've listened, I've had a couple one-off. We did like 2 series to start the year off. Then we've kind of been doing some one-off episodes. We'll probably get back into a series here coming up into the summertime. But right now we're in the heart of spring, and if your market is kind of like ours, you're starting to have that pickup of activity, that buyer traffic coming out of the woodwork as far as coming out of hibernation from the winter. Maybe some listing inventory, maybe your listings and your inventory really springboards off into as we get closer to Easter and in the heart of spring as you go into summer. So I think a lot of activity is starting to stir for a lot of real estate agents across the country, and especially here in the local market in Myrtle Beach. So that's good news. It brings me to a topic, and I kind of mentioned this in last week's podcast. You can go back and listen to it. We talked about focus, but as we're heading into this time and season, it always reminds me of what I think of from an industry perspective, how I think us as real estate agents, as realtors, get kind of we've always had kind of fighting against a negative image. And my belief, and this is kind of the statement for this podcast and for this video and just kind of a mantra, is the problem is, and some of us perpetuate this problem ourselves in the industry, but our problem is we're not sales. And the industry culture has shifted, especially since 2000, 1999, 2000, in the last 20 years. We have shifted and need to into understanding that as real estate agents. So yes, we do sell and we work for commissions, and that's not quite the point of what I'm trying to get across. There is a mentality to this within the industry, and then there's perception creation through content branding and marketing that we need to put out there, and that some of the bigger players like the realtors.coms and our association and that kind of stuff are putting out there as well for us. It's starting to in the last few years. And what it is something that I think I recognized from 2003 and early on when I got into real estate. I think some of you guys that have been in it forever, 80s, 90s, 70s, I've met real estate agents in this area that have just, really built their whole life and career and have been in it for decades. And that's great. But to move forward with how the industry is being reshaped, I think we have to understand what is happening. And if we want better perception, which we've complained about forever, as far as realtors and real estate agents to the public, we need to create a better perception through what we provide. And we're going to do that through content and branding and how we market ourselves and how we treat our customers and clients during a transaction and post-transaction. Let me get to that in a second. So let me just say the blanket statement. We're not sales, we're service. If we start thinking of ourselves as a service industry and not as a sales industry, one, that's going to help you understand as a real estate agent what you're supposed to do in your career. Secondly, though, it's going to, if you start acting it out, if you first believe it and then start acting it out when you're working with buyers and sellers, that is going to start creating different perception and different ideas for when people buy and sell real estate of what their realtor is all about and why they're a part of the transaction and why they need to use you. So I hear a lot of shift in the industry as far as technology and giants like Amazon and Google and Zillows and all that kind of thing, trying to push realtors out, and I don't think that has to happen. In fact, I don't think it really will. I think it'll just take us adjusting and evolving our industry and who we are, to understand what we provide value wise, and not getting into commission structures and what pay, how splits are going to be changed and discount brokerages and Zillow buyout programs and all that kind of thing. I'm not even going to hit on that right now. I just think, because I truly believe within our lifetime and our career right now, that we can make a big dent in public perception to the better if we can shift our focus from understanding that we are not just trying to sell somebody something, but we're trying to come alongside them, work with them, provide a service, guide, provide value, and help them through a very stressful situation, make it easier, and then continue to build a relationship and rapport post-transaction closing, and become more of a service provider in the sense of like a doctor, like an attorney, like a CPA, a long-term relationship when it comes to real estate transactions for them and their sphere, their friends, their family. If we can shift towards that, not only will your career grow exponentially, and your referral sources, your sphere, repeat buyers, repeat sellers, like all that will follow suit. If you can get the understanding that you are not a salesman or a saleswoman, you are a service provider, and you need to come alongside clients and understand that and help guide them through, give your value and expert opinion, and provide a service, and build relationship with them. Through all that, that's kind of a blanket statement. And I guess this really hit home this week. I was helping one of my agents out in the company because she was out of town, and I was helping some buyers that she had in town and showing property. And I don't do that a ton anymore, but I work with my sphere of clients. But when I get to work with kind of like that first time in the area, never really been here before, looking to buy a property, and kind of feel like that first year agent, working with a buyer, it really reminded me that I'm not trying to sell them a unit. I'm just trying to find the perfect property based on what I'm hearing them say, and really understanding, what are you looking for? What are you trying to accomplish? And then doing it through relationship building, my expertise, and showing them, hey, I think this really fits what you're looking for, but leaving the decision in their hands. Even the way I show property, I'm not going to get into that, but I really think, if we don't sell and we guide, come alongside, and serve our clients, we're going to build relationships, we're going to build repeat business, and we're going to build referral business. And that is what is, for the longevity of your business, is going to be the best to grow your real estate career. So I want to leave you with this kind of thought process, this mentality. Are you, as a real estate agent, are you as a realtor, building that kind of persona around your brand and around your career? Or are you stuck in a traditional, like, I'm a salesman, I'm a saleswoman, I am trying to sell, it's all transactional, it's all about the dollar and the commission? If that is your mindset, you will lose. It's just we've just evolved as an industry. You will lose moving forward. I don't know when, and some of you might be able to survive on that for a while, but you will lose moving forward. The rest of us in the industry, if we can get that shift, if we can get that switch in our minds of what we're actually trying to become as a real estate agent for the longevity of our career, if we get that shift and understand what we're providing for people, and then we're building relationship and we build brand around that, not only will our career grow, but we will change a public perception that has existed for decades of what the real estate agent in our industry is really all about, which is the client's needs and trying to guide them through a transaction that can be stressful, using our expertise and providing value along the way. We get that, we're winning on both fronts, both in our career and both in the perception of our industry. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I hope it gives you food for thought. If you have any comments, leave them below, or DM me, message me, tweet me. I would love to engage with you about this topic. I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk with you next time.